than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up. Level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Heavenly Father, here we get down here. Before I go to sleep, tell me you believe it.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I am your host, Robin Ayers. Happy Thursday. Yes, it is Thursday. The week is almost over. That actually came and went by pretty fast. But first and foremost, before I do or say anything else, shout out to Brooklyn and Madison Ayers. They are 17 years old today. What? What are we doing here? Where did the time go? Everybody is asking the same question, but it's not just me. It's everyone who's watched them grow up over the years, whether on the internet or in person. People are just like, I don't understand how they are 17 years old. But we are so extremely proud of them. They are incredible young ladies and doing some fantastic things. So shout out to the girls. Thank you guys so much. I already see you're coming into the YouTube chat and you are wishing them a lot of love. So I appreciate that. Listen, you can join us here and spread the word, or you can call in at some point if you'd like to do that today. You can do that by calling 1-800-920-1580 because, of course, we have great conversations on this show. And, of course, today is no different. And we have a wonderful contributor who I'm excited to talk to about our topics today. But let's get started with a couple of updates for you guys. So it's been 4 months, but Bronny James has been cleared to return to basketball. Is anybody excited about that? I think just as a human being, okay, watching what he had gone through and knowing that a lot of these athletes, there have been several since Bronny, and even before Bronny, of course, but several who have not made it. They've collapsed on the floor and, worse things have happened. So to see that he went through his ordeal, but he also recovered, he's recovering well, and now he's been cleared to return to basketball. I think it's fantastic, and anybody just looking at the situation would probably agree with me. So congratulations to him. All right, so y'all know how there have been some trends. This isn't funny. It's not funny, okay? But there have been trends of fans who are in the audience and they're throwing things on stage or throwing things at the artist. I can't really wrap my mind around that, because if you're there, I'm assuming you're a fan. Why are you throwing things at the artist that you love? I don't get it. But let me tell you who's not having it. Some people have been very nice about it. Drake, he's been very nice about the women throwing their brassieres on the stage. He had a whole collection of them by the time his tour was done. So people handle it in different ways, but I can tell you who is not playing about this. Ari Lennox. When I tell you she stopped in the mid-sentence as she was singing her song because a fan who was at her concert threw a water bottle at her while she was on stage. And who knew that Ari Lennox had it in her? Now, I didn't know. I know now, but she got buck, okay, and cursed this fan smooth out, okay, and she let everybody know not to come for her. So I really do hope that this trend stops. It is ridiculous. It is uncalled for, and somebody is actually going to end up hurt. Either the artist or that fan themselves are going to really end up hurt, and that's not cool. I don't know if any of you are magazine fans. I am a huge magazine fan. That's actually something that used to be a pastime of mine. I would go through and just flip through magazines. It just makes me feel some kind of way. So yesterday I mentioned Glamour magazine having Mary J. Blige as their Woman of the Year, and now Elle magazine has announced their cover stars for their Women in Hollywood issue, and they have different issues with different covers, I'll say, with Taraji P. Henson. And if you know, Taraji is playing Suge in the upcoming Color Purple, the reimagined Color Purple. Danielle Brooks, who's also playing in the Color Purple as Sophia. And Fantasia, singer Fantasia, who's playing Celie in the film. And randomly, they threw in Jennifer Lopez. Now, I love Jennifer Lopez. I think she deserves it, but it's just strange how you had three women from the upcoming film and you threw J-Lo in there. Okay, but shout out to all of them. I think that is fantastic. Let's go ahead and get to the Rob Report, Andy.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Peter Gunz. I don't know if you know who Peter Gunz is. I know him because I was introduced to his song that I felt like was a hit back in the day. I mean, I'm sure that was 90s, early 90s. That had to have been. And Laura Tariq and Peter Gunz, they had an incredible song. So that's how I was introduced to him. But he later reemerged as a reality star. And he's now revealed that he is an atheist. I think that surprised maybe a lot of people, just because you don't really hear people publicly state that they're an atheist. Well, he has. And he shared a recent experience and actually gives some advice on what he feels like if you ever come into contact with an atheist, maybe what you should do. I think this is going to be an interesting topic. We're also talking about Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz, like when is the last time you heard from Lenny Kravitz? Well, he is calling out Black media. Specifically, he is calling out BET. I will tell you why on the other side and get into that conversation, because we like Lenny Kravitz around these streets. We're also hopefully going to get into this conversation about Mike Tyson. I don't know if you remember last year, in the middle of the year, Mike Tyson was on a flight and there was a guy behind him just sort of heckling him. He was just bothering him, and it wound up getting physical. It wound up getting physical. Now, we hadn't heard much about what's going on with that case. Actually, soon after that, we heard that there were not going to be any charges against Mike Tyson for what he did. But now the man is asking for some money. Let's talk about whether he deserves that or not after what he did, the part that he played. So we're going to get to that on the other side, again, with our entertainment contributor that we have on the line. Right when we come forward. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at the Rob Report. Keep it locked.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions because we've got your black. Listen up. If you're one of the more than 100,000 California tenants who were rejected or delayed when applying for COVID rental assistance, you've got a second chance. Under the terms of a new settlement, California's Housing and Community Development Department agreed to audit its past denials. The program ended in March 2022, but the advocacy groups, Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, Policy Link and Strategic Actions for a Just Economy sued the department. According to the coalition's analysis of state data, the department rejected nearly 30% of all applicants. Under the settlement, the department agreed to clear all renters in the pipeline within 6 months. The settlement applies to anyone who sought assistance from the state's Housing is Key program before April 1st, 2022, whose applications is pending or was denied after June 6, 2022. Tenants who have questions about the status of their application can call the hotline at 833-430-2122. That's 833-430-2122. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning. But now, you can say goodbye to stand-up gush fears. Thanks to Always Ultra Thins with rapid dry technology. It absorbs gushes 2 times faster than the leading store brand and gives you up to 100% leak-free protection. Hello, clean and comfortable with Always Fear No Gush.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great, but with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Raw
Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, it is Thursday. You know what this means. That means we have Cheyenne Corinne on the line with us. Hello to you, Cheyenne.
Hey, Robin. How are you? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you. Now, you got to give me a lesson on how to get my makeup together in 10 minutes or less, because I just...
Listen, with TV, sometimes it's just like that.
Yeah, I see. Well, you did yourself a fantastic job. And, you're always doing wonderful things. So I appreciate you taking the time to join us on the show today.
Always.
Now, Cheyenne, I first of all, do you know the song? Is it Uptown? It's called Uptown by Lord Tariq and Deja Vu by Lord Tariq and Peter Gunz. I don't know how old you are. Don't tell me how old you are, but you don't know that song. Okay, well.
No.
I'm big sis tonight. I'm big sis. I'm not quite auntie, but I'm big sis.
Oh, please.
That song came out and it was a hit. And Peter Gunz, as we know, has moved on to reality television and made a name for himself there. He gave us a recent experience of his when he revealed that he's actually atheist. But I want you to hear it with your own ears, and let's talk about it on the other side. Let's take a listen.
Man, I just hopped on live. Something crazy just happened. Something dope just happened. This guy came and asked me to go to church with him this weekend. Some random man just said, "Yo, would you go to church with me this weekend, Peter Gunz?" And I was like, well, I have to be honest with you, brother. I could. I love the music and all that, but I'm really a non-believer. I'm more on the atheist side of things. And he said, well, can I pray for you? And we prayed in the cold. And I just wanted to tell people that's how you answer to people that really don't believe or don't have faith. You don't just dismiss them and say, yo, you're going to hell and nothing like that. You know what I mean? Man said, Gunz, can I pray for you? Can I pray with you? And we prayed. Right in the middle, 125th Street. Just wanted to put that out there, man. Don't turn your back on people because they lack faith. All right? Message of the day.
Okay. Now, that I feel so many different ways about that. I think that that's such a powerful thing, that this person who he just said it was a random situation. He was on the street and a man, probably knowing who this guy is, invited him to church and asked him, do you want to come to church with me? And then when he reveals that he's an atheist, he says he's a non-believer. The guy says, can I pray with you? I mean, the boldness, actually, to say, can I pray with you? Give me your thoughts on this. I don't know if you were shocked. I was actually pretty shocked when he said, I'm an atheist, just because you don't hear people outwardly expressing that. People are always expressing their love for God, but you never really hear the opposite of that, Cheyenne.
Yeah, you don't that often. I had a friend one time tell me the same thing, and I kind of clutched my pearls, just because I am a Christian woman. But I think that that's what you are supposed to do. You're supposed to pray for people. And I think that sometimes, my pastor actually was talking about this recently, is like sometimes we can push people even further away from, your religion, not just like Christianity, when you like force it on them. And I know like something in Judaism is that, they don't try to get people to become Jew. They don't get to try to convert people. That's like one of their main things, is they don't try to convert someone into believing in Judaism. And I think that that's something that, there's several reasons why they don't, but I think that there's one thing about, introducing someone to the word and, praying for someone versus forcing someone. But I think that, if you feel like, if you're worried about someone that is atheist, the best thing to do is to pray for them. So I think that he's like, this is what more people should do instead of, judging because I don't believe. Just pray for me. And, hey, maybe that may inspire me to one day pray myself. So I think that's really cool that happened and that, he shared that with a lot of people. Because sometimes church folks can be real, judgy and stuff when they hear that.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that, because that's a whole word right there. I mean, it's judgment, and I think there is you remember when we were kids and like somebody would say, if you lie, like, let me back up because thunder gonna come down and strike you, and I don't want to be anywhere near you when thunder strikes, or lightning strikes rather. Sort of that feeling when someone says they're an atheist, is almost like, okay, let me back up from you completely, because whatever is going to come and strike you, it's almost, but maybe that in and of itself is sort of like a judgment. Maybe people are judging you, and let me step back from you because whatever you got going on, I don't want any of that on me. And you're right. I think that number one, if more people, this is what my hopes are, is that just more people would be open and open-minded. Yep. You can have your own thoughts, you can have your own beliefs, and, pray to the God that you believe. And we believe in our own God, right? But if we can be open-minded, yep. I think that's actually one of the greater things about traveling. When you travel, you meet people from all walks of life. You are introduced to cultures and languages and foods and all these things. And similarly, if you're open enough to talk to just everybody and listen to their mindset on their beliefs, it sort of opens up an opportunity, because I've been told years ago, and I'm sure you've heard this as well, that if someone just plants a seed, someone else might come along and water it, and then someone else along your journey might come by and water it some more until it blooms. And if you take that opportunity to, like that guy did, he said he asked if he can pray with Peter Gunz. Maybe that was the seed that would maybe one day be watered. My hopes, my goal.
I think so too. And even this conversation, I had to check myself for a moment, because I was like, that, like, at first I was like, that kind of makes sense of some of his, I guess you can say devious behavior, when it comes to cheating and all of that. And, because I do think, it's one thing to want someone who you end up partnering with to be of the same faith, because, you want to be equally yoked and all of that. But if it's not someone you're partnered with, like, they have a right to feel that way. But I checked myself because I was thinking the same thing, and someone wrote that in one of the comments, and then someone responded, and it was like 99% of, he actually responded and said like 99% of Christians are like cheaters or something like that, which that statistic is wrong. But it is true. Just because you are in church, it does not mean that you're any better than, a non-believer, because some of the biggest sinners are in church at the same time. If we're being real, we all know those people there every Sunday but aren't living by the word. So I also don't know if that's always the full judgment of someone's character.
You speaking right now. That's true. I do want to, and I want to be careful to not sound judgy. I want to be clear. I am not trying to sound judgy. However, in this, because we're on the topic, right? We're on the topic of atheists. I always think about basically what you just mentioned, Cheyenne. I always think about when you have a believer and you're connected to a believer. Usually that means that they have a higher power. They have someone else that they are accountable to, which is God, right? So even if we all sin, we all fall short of the glory. So even if they do sin, maybe the God that they serve, who they hold themselves accountable to, will help them change their ways, or help them at least feel sorry for what they've done, or something like that could help them change their ways. Do you know, and I'm not sure if you have any experience, or, you mentioned a friend of yours. Do you know if atheists feel who they feel they have to answer to? Like, do they have anybody who they have to be accountable to, just themselves?
Usually just themselves and their own morals, or what they kind of believe is right and wrong. And it's interesting because I was just thinking about my friend that told me that she was atheist, and this was probably college years. And now she has she has 4 kids, and she had all of them baptized, and she ended up marrying a Catholic man. And now she's religious now, but she definitely was atheist back in the day, which just goes to show it can change. But I do feel what you're saying. It's that's why for myself, I would want a partner that believes in something, because you got to have a code or something that, when all that fails, you have something to kind of base your values on. And I hope that those values would kind of align with mine, if at least the base of it is, our religion, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely makes sense.
What is your code?
Yeah, what's the moral code here? It's to me, and how I live my life, and how I want, I want to be connected with anybody else, is to have something, a higher power that you feel connected to, that you have to, again, answer to, in the sense of just be led by and be guided by. And so for me, that's God. But I don't shame anyone, or I try not to judge anybody for their own beliefs. And the reason is, we don't know their experiences. We don't know what led him to be an atheist in the first place, or, his life story. Again, you could only pray for someone. But speaking of praying for someone, Marcus Atkins says, if someone is an atheist, I wouldn't force someone to pray. That feels religious, prejudice, and arrogance. I think God loves the atheists too and gives them free will. Well, I hear that. I don't think he forced him to pray, this stranger, whoever this guy is. I don't think he forced him to pray. I think he asked, and Peter Gunz accepted it. And so I don't think that there's anything wrong with how he approached it. Your thoughts, Cheyenne? Are you there, Cheyenne? There you go.
I can understand what that person is saying. Excuse me, I forgot the name. But I can understand, because it can seem like, hold on, I just told you I don't believe in this. Why are you praying for me, type of thing. So I think that you also, but you have to go based on, I guess, the person's vibe. And with the fact that Peter was receptive to it, he probably gave off that impression to it. But I don't think that it's right, to just keep going. And I also think that, prayer is beautiful, but you got to watch who's praying for you and about what, too.
True.
I don't just have, when people on the internet just randomly saying, I'll pray for you, I'll pray. I'm like, can you not? Because what you praying for?
Yeah.
So you do have to be careful about, who's praying for you for sure.
You know why that's so on point, and the reason is when we pray and we're usually using our words are so powerful. No matter what you are saying, your words are powerful, and your belief behind those words are very powerful. And so I remember when I was pregnant with my twins, who's again 17 years old today, so that was 17 years ago. I was or more. When I was pregnant with them,
oh my God.
I know, it's so crazy. I would be in church and or walking around, or people who knew us, knew me. They'd be like, "Oh, can I pray for you?" And I remember my family. I remember people who were close to me saying, don't you let nobody, first of all, don't let nobody touch your belly, and don't let anybody just pray for you. And when people say, God gave me a word for you, and can I tell you the word that God gave? All of those things, you really got to use your discernment in who is saying what, who is praying what, because it could be a little tricky. You are right about that.
For sure.
Yes, happy birthday to the twins, Marcus Atkins says. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, Cheyenne, we got to keep you around a little bit more because it's getting good. I want to have this conversation next, talking about Lenny Kravitz, who is expressing his frustration with Black media. I love talking about Black media. I love talking about it. So call us out. Okay, anyway, we're going to get to that on the other side, but right now we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Lil Real Howery, and right now you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right, the Raw Report.
More of the Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A seventh day of a ceasefire is resulting in the release of more Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. 2 Israeli hostages were released, and more hostages are expected to be released soon. Israel is also expected to release more Palestinian detainees from Israeli prisons. In the Windy City, police say they have released a person of interest after a 9-month-old girl was shot on the city's south side. Victims advocate Andrew Holmes is calling for the shooter to come forward. The child remains hospitalized in critical condition. Longtime Baltimore, Maryland television reporter Pat Warren has passed away at the age of 70. Her cause of death was not immediately available. Ebony Magazine commemorated her as one of the first Black women to break into a major TV market. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Be advised of some possible delays as you head to the Crypto.com arena, as Ricky Martin, Enrique Iglesias, and Pitbull are all in concert tonight at 7, and will also be another concert tomorrow night at 7 as well. As you make your way through North Hollywood, Laurel Canyon and both directions between Satakoy and Runnymede Street remain closed due to police activity from earlier this afternoon. Continue to use Lancashire as your alternate. If you're headed downtown on the 10 West before Alameda Street, a stall is partially blocking the right lane, while traffic remains slow ahead to La Brea Avenue, and watch for heavy traffic from the East LA interchange over 10 to 15 minutes.
Is this the title? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
LeBron's son, Bronny James, was cleared today by doctors to resume normal basketball activities at USC. He will have a final evaluation on Friday and start practicing with his USC teammates sometime next week. Bronny was diagnosed with a congenital heart defect after collapsing on July 24th during a workout on the USC campus. No timetable yet for when Bronny will be allowed to play, but there are indications it could be soon. USC is at home on December 10th against Long Beach State. The Trojans play at Auburn on December 17th. Colorado football coach Deion Sanders was named Sports Illustrated's Sports Person of the Year for 2023. Colorado sold out all 6 of its home games for the first time in school history. In Deion's first season, Colorado had major increases in merchandise sales and student applications. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with Kate Luzio, former banking executive and now owner of Luminary, who partnered with Chase for this tour. She makes it her business to build community for business owners.
Yes, so I was a banker for 20 years before I decided to become an entrepreneur. 7 of those years were actually at JP Morgan Chase. One of the biggest things that I had going into my entrepreneurial journey was a big background in banking.
So what advice are you giving business owners looking for financial backing today?
So Chase brings in so much knowledge and the opportunity to understand what financial tools are out there for business owners to build, grow, and scale their business. A lot of business owners will say, well, I need to get a loan immediately. Well, you wouldn't just lend money to your friend if you didn't know why they needed it. I tell every business owner, you need a business plan, you need financial projections, you need a banker. Because you have to start building a relationship with a banker so that they get comfortable with how you're going to build that business and so that they can eventually support you in different ways.
Makes sense. So visit the Chase Community Center on Crenshaw and Vernon. Meet a banker today. Tell them about your business. I'm Maisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, and that is Lenny Kravitz, if you did not know. Thank you, Andy, for that. That is the jam, and I think we should put some more respect on Lenny Kravitz's name. That's a tongue twister. Hey, if you are just joining us, welcome on in here. We were just talking about Peter Gunz and the fact that he's an atheist, and he suggests how we should deal with atheists. He says we should pray for them. That was a great conversation, and this conversation is being had with Cheyenne Corinne, who is on the line with us. Cheyenne,
yes,
so good to have this conversation with you. I want to move into this next one regarding Lenny Kravitz.
Okay.
And he said this man is not getting the respect that, well, he didn't say these words verbatim, but in essence, he's not getting the respect that he deserves, and he's calling out BET specifically. Now, BET, of course, we know they celebrate Black music. They are an entertainment company, actually one of the biggest, and have maintained being one of the biggest Black-owned. I don't know that it's if it's Black-owned anymore. It's not black owned anymore. Okay, Andy confirms. It was for many years, but they still celebrate black artists, black music, black television, and all the above. Well, in a recent interview with GQ magazine, Lenny Kravitz, he says that to this day, he has not been invited to anything BET or Source Awards or anything. And he says, here's a black artist talking about himself who has introduced many black art forms, who has broken down barriers just like those who came before me broke down. That is positive, and they don't have anything to say about it. He is making a very valid point. Why do we not see Lenny Kravitz at the at the BET Awards or anything for that matter? Your thoughts on it, Cheyenne? Because I know you pay attention to these award shows and things like that, just like I do.
I do. Yeah, I think it's because, unfortunately, I think it's because of the genre. I think it's because, he's rock and roll, which is weird because rock and roll, really is ours. When I say ours, the black communities, really. But, obviously it's not as saturated with us as, R&B, hip hop, rap. Mm-hmm. But I wish that we would, celebrate more genres because the last few, awards and stuff, it's just been not the best to me. And I think the talent is just you have to do so little to be famous nowadays. And I really do miss artists, like Lenny Kravitz that deserve to be celebrated and that are true artists. But I think it's the genre, and I think that maybe they do need to open it up a little bit more because I am getting bored with the same stuff, kind of. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the reason. But I also want to make sure that we're always not just being super, super harsh on all of our media and platforms too. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I also saw some tweets from some journalists that were saying I've been reaching out to him for however long, and his team doesn't get back to me. And that's also another conversation because I know at these black red carpets, there'll be black media, and a lot of people will skip over them. Mm-hmm. So I also don't want to jump to conclusion just because he's saying this, because there could be people on his team that are not accepting all of the different requests.
Now, if you've listened to the Raw Report long enough, you'd know I have mentioned this on numerous occasions, just being frustrated with certain aspects of black media, but also when it comes to artists themselves, red carpets, interviews, things like that. I don't know where we stand with this, but Andy, I want to hear your point, and then I'm going to jump in right behind.
Is Lenny Kravitz dating?
I don't know who he's dating. Why is that? Why are you asking that question?
Just leave it alone. I think you know why.
I don't know why.
He's an individual who basically does rock music, and if he was dating somebody of the other persuasion, I think that plays a level into it. Now, if he was dating a black woman, I think he probably would get the invitation.
I'm not sure.
As shallow as that may be, I think stuff like that plays factor sometimes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe. And I've not looked into that deep enough, to come to a conclusion on that. I just don't buy into that narrative. Right. Obviously we do know that he was married and has a child with Lisa Bonet, and, and I think he was fine then. I think he's fine now. I think, Lenny Kravitz, I want to be clear. He is a star. He is a bona fide star. We're just talking about BET, which, to be honest with you, I'm actually surprised that he has a problem with not having been invited to BET Awards, or he mentioned Source Awards. The Source Awards, as we know, are purely almost. Well, do they do the Source Awards anymore? Is it now? I've not even heard that they do it anymore, but that was purely a hip hop platform. And so I don't know why he mentioned that, but I'm just surprised that he'd actually want to attend the BET Awards. I think what he's saying is that I am a black artist, period. And BET is a black media company. They showcase black people. And for the barriers that I've broken down and for the art forms that I have introduced, I should be recognized. I think that's pretty much all he's saying, and I don't disagree with him on that. DJ Black 909.
Yeah, go ahead.
He says, put it this way: the Source Awards is a hip hop award show. That's what I was saying. Lenny Kravitz is not a rapper, not even an R&B gospel singer. Oh, to the point that you were making, Cheyenne. I had to pull this up because I remembered not long ago where this was just a couple of years ago where Kane Brown performed at the BET Awards for country music, and everybody made such a big deal of it, which, you know, is great. I mean, maybe that they felt like, oh, this was needed, this is refreshing, and that's cool. But why wouldn't you have Lenny Kravitz perform at the BET Awards? I actually think that would be groundbreaking.
That's insane. But like the thing that I've like noticed also, I think it's insane. But the thing I have like started to feel about these award shows is that sometimes it's very like political. So who really knows why? But I feel like a lot of these choices about who's performing, who's hosting, who's, you know, are so political sometimes and really not based on the impact. And even like, I just feel like that about who wins things now. So it's just so hard. I think he definitely deserves it, but I feel like there's so many other things that go into someone receiving the things that they receive other than just purely like deserving it, which is what it should be about.
Absolutely right. Andy?
Shout out to the voice of reason, Zoe Williams, man. He stepped in real quick and basically educated me by basically saying that Lenny Kravitz has also produced a lot of records for hip-hop artists.
Yes.
So, for example, the Blueprint 2, Jay-Z, he has a record with Lenny Kravitz. So it's like,
St. John, do you pronounce his name St. John, the artist? Yeah, but it says he has collaborated with Jay-Z and St. John. And listen, even Jay-Z, he won't attend the BET Awards, you know, right now. But yeah, I think that is the case. He should be acknowledged and he should be recognized for all that he has contributed, regardless of genre. And as a matter of fact, I think I've been challenging these award shows lately because I feel that they've gotten a lot more classless. Sorry, but I'm not sorry about that, because we grew up a certain way, and I feel like we need to return to class. We need to return to that. And return to something a bit different. You know, Lenny Kravitz, he offers something different than what we're used to on the regular basis when it comes to BET. So, yeah, you guys over here in the comment sections are lighting it up. Absolutely agree with you. Lavelle says Lenny is an icon and deserves all his due. Little Richard didn't get his until years later. Let's not make that happen. I think to Lenny, yeah, so you guys are definitely giving him his props. Houston, Texas says Lenny definitely deserves to be celebrated. He is more than just a singer. He is also an actor. BET, pay attention. Pretty Brown Mimi says Black people, we created rock and roll. I mean, come on, that's a fact. Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, etc. DJ Black 909 says do not forget Ike Turner and Fats Domino. Yeah, you guys are right. Brother Alfonso says that Lenny is right about that. He was in a lane by himself when he was the only one, kind of minus Prince. Andy?
I was going to say, shout out to Steve Lacy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a newer artist that's not doing a stereotypical black music.
Yeah.
And I think there's that acknowledgement, at least, you know, from the culture or whatnot. Maybe he needs to do a record with Lenny Kravitz. That'll probably be dope.
That'll be cool. But you know what? And I was very surprised at Steve Lacy when he had the #1 song on Billboard's but R&B charts. R&B, and I was like, this is, to me, I felt like it wasn't an R&B song, but I also think that this is something of this generation. And no knock to him, because the song actually grew on me, but it was just interesting. I don't know what the answer is to that, but I will say I'm not opposed to calling out what needs to be called out. And when that's us, I'm also going to call that out. And I think Lenny Kravitz is right about this. I think that BET absolutely needs to pay tribute to him. Some acknowledgement, at least an invitation. Put him on the front row. He deserves that. Cheyenne, before we let you go, I got to quickly get your thoughts on this situation. Did you see the Mike Tyson incident that happened on the plane where the man was behind him, in his ear, he was just messing with Mike Tyson? Did you see this video last year?
Yes, I did.
Okay, the video made me mad, and apparently something that we did not see on camera was, according to Mike Tyson's attorneys, the man actually threw a water bottle at Mike Tyson, which then caused him to turn around and start punching the man. Now, you don't want punches from the champ, okay, Mike Tyson? You don't want those problems. And the guy wound up bloody all on the side of his face, and there were no charges at the time. I think everybody could see what was going on. The man was absolutely antagonizing Mike Tyson. But now, as we fast forward more than a year later, the guy is demanding $450,000 from Mike Tyson for this assault. Number one, does he deserve this money? Number two, what should happen when you do have someone who is antagonizing and gets assaulted? Do they have a case or not?
I mean, when you get assaulted, I mean, yeah, you always are going to have a case. I do feel like, why would you mess with Mike Tyson? Like, I would have
Not all people.
Anybody on that plane except Mike Tyson. But if you wanted money, then I guess he would have been the person. So this could have been the person's plan all along. Hey, I know Mike Tyson. He probably doesn't have that much patience. I know he's going to knock me out. Let me just get a punch real quick and then come up with all this money. Hey, it sounds like he may have plotted on this. But I do feel like, you know, don't pick on people at the same time. But if you are, like, if the other person didn't get physical with you, then you are in the wrong. Especially, I know, with, like, boxers and stuff you can be considered, like, your hands could be considered like a lethal weapon and stuff, and you can get charged even harsher if you are, like, a boxer, especially if it's, like, a domestic violence type of thing, because, like, you have that much power. So you should know when to, like, not use it.
Yeah, you are absolutely right about that. According to Mike Tyson's attorney, he says that actually, this is from the San Mateo County District Attorney. He says that this was basically due to the conduct of the victim leading up to the incident. And the interaction between Mr. Tyson and the victim, as well as the requests of both the victim and Mr. Tyson. I don't know what that was saying. Basically, he didn't want to charge because he sees that it's the victim. We're calling him a victim because he was assaulted, but he is the one who he created this incident, right? But the other thing is, the guy's attorney is saying that Mike Tyson could have handled this any number of ways other than getting physical. If you're on a plane, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, you can request a seat change, perhaps. What if no one is listening? This guy was, steadfast and antagonizing him. I'm not sure, but I'm going to stick with the fact that I don't believe he deserves this money. That's where I land on it. Does he deserve the money or not? Just according to what you saw. Cheyenne.
Who, me or
Yeah.
Andy?
No.
Oh, me? I think that he doesn't deserve it. I feel like he was asking for it, and this was his whole plan. So
Okay.
no.
All right, that's fair, because I'm like, come on, Cheyenne, you got to commit. All right, no, that's good.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much, as always. Thank you so much for
Always.
joining me on the show today. Great conversations with you.
Yes. Thank you, Robin. I'll
Thank
talk to you soon.
Enjoy your night.
All right, bye.
All right,
You
when
too.
we come forward, we have your Who's Got Next and What Not to Miss on the other side. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Rob Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attention Los Angeles County residents. Dreaming of owning your own home? Looking for ways to generate income with your home? Or are you behind on payments and need help? Then mark your calendar for December 2nd. Join us at the Opening Doors Planning for the Stages of Home Ownership event at Magic Johnson Park in Willowbrook on December 2nd from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. for workshops, a resource fair, and much more. Attendance is free. We'll have raffle prizes, food, and more. Dive into valuable resources designed to help you navigate the home ownership pipeline. To learn more or to register for the event, please visit our website, dcba.la/openingdoors. Again, that website is dcba.la/openingdoors. See you at Magic Johnson Park on December 2nd. Doors open at 8 a.m. for registration. This message is brought to you by LA County Department of Consumer and Business Affairs.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Rob Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
You know what? Lavelle Delone inside of our YouTube, he said it perfectly. He said, Lenny is still ours. Put some respect on his name. Okay, I hear that. Let's get into this song. This is For Bats, Act 1, Stickers 99. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a listen to it.
I might just call and catch a play. I might just come see you today. You ain't don't stuck up in my ways, but love it when I'm playing games. That's the only way we get away. We stuck together, you must forever. That's why I cannot go away. I leave you screaming anything. You find a way to keep me in. Make me think you do some magic in it. Like you did it, yeah. Don't be tripping, I'll be there in a minute. You itty bitty, nah, I'll be there. Be there.
I might just call and catch a play. I might just come see you today. You wait, I'm stuck up in my ways, but love it when I'm playing games. That's the only way we get away. We stuck together, you must forever. That's why I cannot go away. I leave you screaming anything.
It's interesting, huh?
You find a way to keep me in.
Okay. Now, I don't know if that is the same person or not. That's the same person. Now, when he first started singing, sounded like a more feminine voice, but that was the same person. Okay, he's just giving you a little something different. Okay, all right. Okay. Marcus Atkins says, not really vibing to it. That's fine. Thomas Outlaw says, that's a smooth, mellow vibe throughout. Yeah. I guess whatever floats your boat, you know? We give you all kinds of things to hold on to here at the Rob Report. So listen, what I don't want you to miss before I address some of these last comments over here is remember the Renaissance movie. To be honest with you, Renaissance, I think it's out already in theaters. You could actually go and see that tonight. I don't know if any of you are those kinds of Beyonce fans, but apparently it is doing very, very well. It actually got 100% on the on Rotten Tomatoes. A score of 100% is very hard to do, just so we're clear. But yes, so far it has gotten 100%, so that means it is probably very, very good. I think I'll be going to watch it. Not tonight though, because I'm going to go celebrate the Ayers twins. Again, shout out to them. 17 years old today. Did I mention that I'm the mom of 17-year-olds? I said that already? Okay. All right. We'll leave it alone. So, yeah, go ahead and get your tickets to Renaissance the film. I hear it's great. Okay. So, Thomas Outlaw, thank you for joining in on this conversation. He says Mike Tyson could have handled the issue another way. But if a person antagonizing a championship level boxer, he cannot run, judge asking for money if he gets worked over. Okay, I think it's fair. I think it's all fair to say. I can't be mad at Mike. Yeah, you can say your hands are weapons. You can say you're a champ. You can say you're a celebrity. You can say all of these kinds of things. But at the end of the day, if somebody is behind you, literally on top of you, all up in your ear, and you're trying to ignore it, you're trying to ignore the guy, more than likely, if the person keeps going, you might feel some kind of way. Thank you guys again so much for joining me on today's show. Thank you so much for the love inside of our YouTube chat. Feel free to use our app, the open mic feature that's on our app. You guys can always leave a message. You can say what's up. You can leave your opinions there as well if you like. Marcus Atkins says, don't poke the bear. I agree with that. Listen, it has been a great show, and you already know you cannot change the dial because Zoe Williams is coming with a super fire hot topic tonight. Couples who pray together. Oh, it's going to be a good one. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to Cheyenne Corinne for joining me as well. Remember, I am Robin Ayers, and today and every day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Donald Trump and his attorneys are once again prohibited from making public statements about the courtroom staff in the former president's civil fraud trial. The New York Appeals Court reinstated a gag order that had been temporarily lifted 2 weeks ago. Opening statements took place today for the two Aurora, Colorado paramedics